I
Okay.
looked at this a little while ago before I got you.
Yeah. What did you think?
I thought it was terribly scary. Horrible.
Yeah,
I'll
it
tell you what
is.
it made me think. Like, this looks like a parent. It actually looks like a woman, but because of skirt, there's a skirt there.
I
But
don't see where's your pointer, Kathy?
oh, here's the skirt.
Okay. That's a skirt.
I guess it could be a skirt if you wanted that to be a woman, but
Oh,
it looks like an ape actually.
yeah, the face.
And the face is just so intensely angry, and
Yeah,
the arm is lifted as if it's going to hit one of these children or all of them.
yeah. Hmm.
And then the title, Waiting for Change. And you know what that means to me personally, waiting for change.
Hmm.
That's how I felt when I was growing up. Why can't
Oh,
somebody do something?
uh-huh. Yeah, yeah,
I mean, this doesn't represent what happened in my family, but it was representative, symbolically.
yeah. I understand, Catherine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And look at this when he's trying to hide his face.
yeah, yeah. They're kind of huddled together over there
Yeah,
on the right
yeah.
to be safe. And there's like a swirling
This,
on, yeah,
that
not
we're
cloud.
talking about.
No, I'm talking about the cloud above the kids on the
Oh,
right.
yeah, this.
Yeah, that sort of thing swirling around
Yeah.
like a turmoil.
This one looks like he's getting dragged into it. Right there.
Yeah.
He's getting sucked into the.
Uh-huh. Wow, that's pretty powerful. What about the small figure on the just below the head of that angry
Yeah,
figure?
this
Yeah.
uh, must be terrified, but that's the back of it. So you can't see his face.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's looking at that angry figure.
Actually, this figure looks like he's looking over here more than down at him.
Yeah.
So he might be getting away.
Sneaking out, or maybe trying to negotiate. What do you call that role of somebody who is the fixer, or
Mm.
there's different
Yeah,
roles in a dysfunctional family. The victim, the rescuer is one. Forget the other two.
this thing here is really interesting. I just had a flash of what it could mean.
But
It could mean like blood pulsing through veins, and
uh,
just more to show more intensity of the lives that are involved.
yeah. Hmm. And what about the tops of each of those
Yeah,
um,
they're not
branches?
they're not good. They're
They're
like
not.
they're restricting the flow.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So that it's when you say that, it makes me think that their bodies have a lot of emotion, but their heads are kind of calm, or they're not letting their
Yeah,
passions
yeah,
affect what they think.
Yeah, that's their fake face.
Fake face, exactly.
Look at this, Martin. This is really good.
Uh-huh. Yeah. What do you see there?
Oh, it's just a cool swirl,
Oh, yeah.
like a tornado,
Uh-huh.
but it also has these little feathering edges, which that's from when it absorbs, when the
Yeah.
water absorbs.
And
But
what's the effect of that when you see it?
it really gives it a different look and texture. And I'm trying to think what it makes me feel like.
Is it a softness or is it a kind of a sort of uninvolved or excluded or somebody who's in denial?
Oh, I don't know. I just like that effect.
Yeah.
As far as this in the picture, it's bad because look, this is like a tornado. This person's so screwed up that
Yeah.
this tornado is affecting.
Yeah. So it's like some of the energy of that figure down below,
Yeah.
the radiation of that energy.
Mhm.
Like that over on the right, that swirling shape is sort of an energy either coming in to those kids hovering below, or it's kind of coming out of them, or it's expressing what what's interior to them.
Mhm.
I like how you describe those red branches, though, as veins of blood veins, and
Mhm.
how they're kind of cut off from their head. The heads are really cut off from that part of their body where all those emotions are.
Mhm.
So they have, like you said, fake faces. That's so good. Carl Jung described that as a persona. The persona is the public face we bring to um, our dealings with people um, that don't really show who we truly are. We call that a persona, which is a fake face, like you said,
Oh,
or a mask. It's
I thought I knew what persona meant, and it's similar to what you said. Yeah, it's breeder persona, but I never thought of it as meaning fake.
well, it's an adaptation, not necessarily fake. It's an adaptation, so you can get by publicly. You behave the way you're supposed to. When you go to work, you bring your persona,
Yeah,
the public face that you know how to behave in certain situations,
yeah.
and but most often we become limited by it, or we can become stuck in it, and we take it for what's real, or who we really are, rather than just an adaptation to uh, keeping keeping a certain behavior in public situations. What do you see up in the upper right hand corner, Kevin? I didn't know what to make.
I don't think they're good. I think I've been, thinking about what they are, but what I think of is like icicles that have those sharp edges. I don't think they're icicles, but some kind of a sharp edge that's going to fall
Yeah.
down at these
uh,
kids.
yeah,
So that's a worry.
yeah, it's something looming over them in a way that they
Yeah.
don't either don't see it, or maybe they see it, but because they're looking up, that might be where they're looking. Um, that in that center grouping, that figure on the right with its arm out, and on the red area, there's three heads. The head on the right,
Yeah.
no, in the red area,
Oh, up
the
here.
the figure on the right, the head on the right, is looking either down towards those hovering kids, um, or maybe up at those threatening pieces up above, or maybe it's in control of those things, then they're using them as threats. They're the threats. If you don't do this, this is going to happen. So the kids are either looking up at that figure or looking up at those threatening things.
Mhm.
So it's part of how they're being influenced in their fears.
This one here looks really bad, like his head is like smashed onto the ground.
Yeah.
I think the whole thing is dominated by these two things here. The eye and the mouth are so, I don't know.
Yeah.
But what I say is really scary. And
Yeah.
this arm,
Yeah. It's a big arm, isn't it?
yeah.
And it's kind of cocked back, ready to strike.
Mhm.
And so there's that vulnerable, smaller child there is being threatened in some way. But you saw the skirt on that figure, that
Mhm.
yellow skirt.
Mhm.
And I'm seeing that more clearly now too. But do you see that as a male or a female character aside from the skirt?
Well, I don't know. Because the skirt would need to be a woman. But the top of the body looks real strong.
Yeah. Well, what I'm thinking of is that that it's not either a man or a woman, but it's kind of how it's both. So that top part could be a man, an angry man, and the bottom part could be a woman. And so there's a conflict in that one figure. There's
Mm.
a discrepancy, or something's not right. They're not acting together in some healthy way. They're not interacting, so that if a man, for example, is too has been too influenced by women in his life in a negative way, that he's taken on a lot of that um, censorship of women, that it can lead to being very angry.
Mhm.
So in a way that woman part of the bottom of that figure is maybe the source of the angry part of the male up top.
Mhm.
So that the tension or the anger isn't necessarily at the kids. It's something to do with that conflict within that figure itself.
Mhm. And there's a
And
figure right here.
oh yeah,
It looks like it came down from this twister.
uh-huh. Look at those two yellow clouds, one on the left and one on the right.
Here and here.
Yes, they're kind of hovering over those two parts of the painting on the left
Yeah.
and the right.
Hmm.
They may be maybe a source of healing or
Mhm.
protection,
Hope.
hope, yeah. And that arm of that angry figure on the left is is kind of reaching back and up, and it seems like it's ready to come down and strike, but it's also making a close connection with that yellow cloud. And if that yellow cloud has some healing energy in it, it's close to being able to influence that angry figure.
Like the Michelangelo fingertip.
Yeah, something like that, just barely touching. And I've always thought about how in that Michelangelo creation of Adam is the name of that painting, the barely touching is a lot more powerful than if they were touching. If the fingers were touching, it would have lost all the
Mhm.
the tension or the energy. And it
Mhm.
also, and that's what's happening right there between that yellow and black
Yeah.
connection between the cloud and that figure.
He was
So
pretty
that it's
smart to know that, wasn't he?
what?
Michelangelo was pretty smart to know that.
Um, yeah, I think he had yeah, he was. Um, so that some of that close connection without being connected allows an individual to be kind of motivated or influenced or inspired without being controlled. So if there were a touching, it would be somebody could take over. It's like you could be possessed. Uh, it's sort of a channel that can either drain you or fill you up with something that's not really who you are. But when it comes real close, it it radiates in a way that it allows the person that's being influenced to be able to absorb that in a healthy way without it being too possessive or controlling.
Mhm.
It's the difference between inspiration and control. When we're inspired, we really take charge of our own lives and try to imitate what we like in somebody else. Whereas if we're controlled, where somebody is telling us what to do, and we kind of give up our independence and just be obedient to what somebody wants us to be like.
Mhm.
For example, with Adam and the Creator, um, it's not a rule or a law that you have to do this to be good. It's there's an energy, a divine energy that humanity or human beings need to acknowledge that's in themselves and allow that to become strong rather than becoming subservient or weak by simply being obedient to the rules.
I like that.
I do too. I never thought of that before. Not a bad idea. I think I'll try it.
Really good, Martin.
I keep having these thoughts. Well, let's stop our discussion, Catherine. That's a good one. It's just such a powerful painting. At first, I thought I didn't like it, but you were right that it's scary.